In this video, we are going to be installing a Wi-Fi mesh system into my home and seeing if I can solve some of the problems that my Wi-Fi extenders had been causing. And this is the system we're installing. This is the TP-Link Wi-Fi 7 BE14000. So if you're new around here, this is how we do things. First, if you notice, there is no box. I do not do unboxing videos on this channel. I think they're a waste of your time and they insult your intelligence because you know how to open a box. The other thing I do is I put timestamps down below, so you can jump around the video and watch just the stuff that you are interested in. So if you like videos like this that don't waste your time, hit that subscribe button. It really would help out the channel. Now here's what we're gonna do. First, I'm gonna kind of tell you really quickly about what this system is and why we're doing it. Then we're going to install it and show you how that goes. Then we'll test it out to see if it's actually doing what it's supposed to be doing. And then at the end, I'll go over the pros and cons so you can make an informed decision if this is something you want to spend your money on. Now first, what the heck is a mesh? Now, I am a DIYer. I'm not a technical guy, so I'm not going to get way into the weeds on the specs of this thing, but I'm going to go over kind of what a mesh is versus the extenders and the problems that these things were causing. Now, I have gigabit down, gigabit up internet. And when I test my speed out at my router, which is a TP-Link router, I get this. Pretty fast. I'm happy with those speeds. If I come to the back of my house though, I get this. That ain't good. And I think the reason I'm having this problem is because of these little guys. These are Wi-Fi extenders. And the reason I'm using these is because on the side of the Wi-Fi extenders, there is a Ethernet jack. And I have some devices back here in my office that need an Ethernet jack. So what these Wi-Fi extenders do is they grab the signal and they rebroadcast the signal out. And they also give me that jack. The problem is where these are located get really terrible signals. So my devices, my phone, my laptop, or TVs, everything at the back of the house is grabbing signal off of this thing because it's closer and it's getting garbage signal. Now, even if I put multiple of these around the house, that's not going to solve the problem because these don't talk to each other. These do. So what the mesh does is one of these replaces your router. You park it next to your modem. On the back of it, there are Ethernet ports, and you're going to plug it straight into your modem. The rest of these go around your house, and instead of being repeaters, they're nodes. They all talk to each other, and they find the best path to get signal around your house, avoiding those little bottlenecks. Now, the great thing is every one of these has two jacks on the back of it, which solves that same problem here of needing one of these. Now, if you want to check out all the specs in this thing, I will have a link for it down below. In addition to that, there are a couple other things that I use, including switches and whatnot, that I'll have a link down below as well, if you want to check those out. So now we're going to start the process of setting this thing up, and you're going to do it with me for the first time on camera. Now, the one thing I did do before I started rolling was I downloaded the TP-Link app, and I signed myself in. I already have a TP-Link account. There's my cat. Say hi. Anyway, I already have a TP-Link account, so that all carries over, and now we've got to go plug this thing in next to our modem. So we're going to go to the living room and get that going. Okay, so we've got the app up and running. This is our modem. This is the old router that we're going to be replacing back here. So this is going to be taking the place of that router. So the first step here is we're going to plug this guy in, and it says we're going to wait until that little LED on the bottom starts pulsing blue.
A few moments later.
It is, there it goes. I was about to say it's not pulsing blue, it just started pulsing blue. So let's begin. We're going to allow it to find Bluetooth devices, and it says now we've connected. So we're going to set up the deco, and the first step here is to connect it to our modem. So I am going to unhook the old data cable out of my modem and plug it into the back of the deco. It's now actually asking me to restart my modem, so I'm going to go to the back here and unhook the power and restart my modem. This should take a few seconds for all these lights to come back on, and then we'll go to the next step.
One eternity later.
We're back. Took a little bit of time for my modem to restart, but my modem is restarted. So we are going to go through positioning. We're going to put this in the living room. We're just going to leave this as is, and we're going to set up our network. Now, the easiest way, my understanding, is to do this is just to leave it as your current network name. That way, all your old devices will reconnect. I'm going to enter my network name, which is Hal. Leave me a message down below in the comments if you know where we got that name from. And then I'm going to put in my old password. I'm going to do this off screen so you can't hack me. Now, it's actually telling me that other networks have the same name, and I'm realizing that would be correct because I haven't turned off my router yet. My router was shooting that out. So we're gonna try that again. So now this unit is online, which means in theory, my whole house should have internet on my existing network. Let's go to the back of the house and try it. All right, I'm in the back of the house. I've got my smart TV here and everything is online. I'm going to YouTube here, make sure this loads up. And everything is loading up just fine. So that was easy. My whole network's back up online. The hardest part was actually just running the power cable through everything to my battery backup. So now let's get another one of these set up. And we're gonna go right back up to the app where we were before, and we're going to plug in our next one. Oh, here's the other one. So interesting, it's telling me just plug in all the other Deco units and they'll be ready to go. So I plugged in this one. So I guess I should just plug them all in here. If there's any configuration to do, we'll do that. And then the cat will probably chew on the cord, which will be wonderful. And then, I don't know, we'll see what happens from there. My plan is one of these is gonna stay here in the office and it's going to run my internet switch in the closet there, and another one's gonna go at the far end of my hallway, so it should broadcast through the whole house. So let's get the other one hooked up. All right. Well, I got some blinking lights. I got a cat over here playing with, okay? Don't eat it, okay? That's important. Okay, but I just bought that. Don't eat holes in it. That's cord's expensive. Stop. So I was, okay, buddy, don't eat it. Don't. Okay, so I was expecting to have to do a lot more to set these things up. Apparently all you gotta do is plug them in, which is pretty sweet. So, hell. This cat is a terror. Stop. Okay. Meet Maverick. Maverick is trying to eat the power cord. It's one of these things. Okay, so I think the cat went and found some food. So I was expecting to have to do more for setup with these, but I just plugged them in and apparently everything is working. So now there's some more settings I'm gonna mess around with, but right now I'm gonna go get these things placed where they need to actually be in my house. Okay, I've got my whole network set up. I have one out by my modem. I have one right here next to me that is running into an internet switch, running all my security cameras, and I've got one at the far end of my house, which gets my daughter's room and our master bedroom. So something I didn't talk about earlier was the size of my house. This system technically is drastic overkill for my house. My house is about 1,500 square feet, single story. I do have a lot of equipment outside. My pool equipment on the far side of the yard runs on this stuff, and I did just check. I got excellent signal out there. I have a lot of equipment in the garage running on this stuff too. So all that stuff is getting great signal, but the proof is in the pudding, as they say. I don't know if anybody actually says that anymore. Now, TP-Link does have their own app to do speed tests, but I'm gonna keep things fair and run it on the app that I did the speed test on before. So it's flashed up over here and hit the go button. The cat approves. Okay, so somehow we are faster than when we were standing next to my modem before, but actually it was coming off of the old, I was trying to wreck everything on me again. I was standing next to the old router, and this is now pulling speed off the new router. What I am noticing though is my upload speed is lower than it had been next to the router, but it is still significantly higher than where it is here in the house before. So I picked up a ton of speed on the download. I'm pretty much matching the speed at the router, and I'm at 273 here, which is a quarter of what I had been on the other end of the house. So I don't know if there's things I can play around with that. I'm going to try some stuff, but right now we've had a drastic improvement in speed. Now I've also done that same test elsewhere throughout the house, and everywhere I've gone, whether it was an area that I had good speed or bad speed before, it's been consistent across the board. The next thing that's really important to me is the responsiveness of my security camera system. I've got my security camera system, my hub in my closet here, and it's running into one of my nodes. So it's a wired unit. So we're gonna fire up the system right now. So we're gonna share the screen right over here. We're gonna fire up the app. It takes the app a second to load, and then there's my home base, and I wanna see how fast it is bringing up the camera. This used to take about 10 seconds clicking on a camera to get a camera to actually come up live. So let's try this. We're gonna click it in real time. And that was much faster. I wish I had done a sample video of this beforehand, but usually it took about 10 seconds or even longer to do that. Now the next thing I want to see is if I go to download footage, or I want to pull up a piece of footage, how long it takes to get to my phone, because that was also something that took quite some time. So here I'm just going to pull up a video from the other day. This is one of me just walking out my front door, and one thing to note is it has an encryption thing and it has to decrypt, so it still takes a little bit of time to pull something up. So it's just decrypting from local storage, but it's already playing live, and even that is significantly faster than the response times that I was having before. Now what those demonstrations on the security cameras are showing is the upload speed, in that my security cameras have to upload their footage to get it across the web to my phone. So the faster they can upload, the faster I can download. And as we saw from the previous test in the house, my upload speeds were atrocious, as were my download speeds. So the setup and testing went really quickly, which is nice. I'm an old fart, and I remember the days when you get some piece of tech and it would take you days to figure it out because you were downloading drivers and all this finicky stuff. This thing just plugged and played, which was awesome. So now we hit the point in the video where it's time to go over the pros and cons. First we'll do the pros, then we'll do the cons. So the biggest pro is, of course, the speed, and you saw the speed in all those previous tests that we just did. Now, what I did kind of before tinkering around was I was trying to figure out what the problem was with my home network. So I unplugged all of these and went around the house, and I was still getting a significant drop in the back of the house. So from one side of the house to the other, I was getting a gig down in the front of the house, and I was getting down in the 2s and 300s down in the back of the house. Right now, I am seeing pretty much no drop in speed in my daughter's room, which is the furthest point from the base. The next pro was the ease of setup. If anything, this system was easier to set up than these from what I can remember. But you saw the whole thing. I plugged it into the modem, I did a couple things on my phone, poof, I'm up online. If you rename your network the same network as your home network, you don't have to reprogram your devices. Now, the one thing that happened to me, which you saw, was I forgot to unplug my router, which meant that my router was also broadcasting that HAL network, and there was some confusion that said, hey, you've got another network. Now that also means that if you are running your Wi-Fi network on your modem, and your modem is HAL or whatever it is, you're going to have to turn off the Wi-Fi network on your modem or go in and change the name so there's not that conflict when you set up your nodes. So just keep that in mind. If you're in a situation where you have devices around your house that need a wired connection, this is a great solution. I have devices here, and I've got some devices in one of my other rooms that needs a wired connection. And I know that seems kind of old school, but some stuff. Another thing is, if you've got devices around your house that need a hardwired connection, this thing can take your internet from one side of the house, broadcast to the other side of the house, and give you a thing you can plug your device into. You can even set up another network on the other side of your house. That's what I have in this room. I've got my node going into my closet, and I've got an internet switch in there that's running cables out to a bunch of my stuff. I'd show you a shot of it, but it's a hot mess of cables. What the heck. I'm not proud of it, but it works. Another thing that's very easy to set up is you can actually set up a subnetwork for your IoT devices. Those are your Internet of Things devices. Things like security cameras, smart locks, smart switches, things that might not have the best security on board, so that way you can isolate things like your computers, your phones, your home servers from those IoT devices. It makes your house or your business a little bit safer and a little bit more secure. There's a couple other cool things you can do in the app. You can go in and see all the devices. It'll let you know what devices are what, and you can go in and actually throttle things and prioritize things. So if you have a lot of stuff sucking down bandwidth, but you need to prioritize your server, your mini server, your computer, you can have it prioritize those things, so that way if your kids are sitting there doom scrolling Instagram and TikTok and sucking up all your bandwidth, it'll actually prioritize the stuff that matters and not the stuff that in your opinion doesn't. So this is a pretty slick system. We've talked about all the pros. Now let's talk about the cons. And something to keep in mind is some of the cons aren't really cons. They're just stuff to consider before you buy something like this. Now the first major thing is the price. The system we installed right now is $674. It was a little bit cheaper when I bought it a few weeks ago during Prime Day or Prime Week, whatever that whole thing's called. But there are different systems from Deco. This is kind of the flagship that's out right now, but there are systems as cheap as $250. The other thing is you may not need 3 nodes depending upon the size of your house. 3 was probably overkill for me. You could get away with 2, and they do have systems that have 2 nodes that'll save you a few bucks. But it is a lot more expensive than one of these. But as we demonstrated, one of these causes more problems than I think even the 50 bucks is worth. Another thing to keep in mind is on the back of these, there are 2 Ethernet jacks. That's 2 places where you can plug devices into. Most modems that you get from your internet provider have more than that because they also function as kind of your home hub. So they may have 5 or 6. So you're going to want to look and see how many Ethernet jacks are on the back of your modem and how many you're actually using, because if you're using more than 2, you're going to need to buy, in addition to that, an internet switch and some cables to make it all work. Now, I am running an internet switch up in the front of my house. The one that I have, I'll link down below. It's just a basic no-frill switch. You really don't need anything fancy for that, but if you need more ports than you've got on the back, the 2, you're going to have to get a switch as well. I hope this video helped you out. I hope you learned something from it. If there's anything I missed, anything you have questions about, please leave me a comment down below. I'm always answering comments and questions in the comment section. If you like these kind of videos, no frills, get to the point, show the actual results, and go over true pros and cons, so it's not just a cheap advertisement, hit that subscribe button. It really would help out the channel. And because we need to appease the YouTube algorithm, I do need to say, give this video a great big thumbs up. And of course, thanks for watching.